All right, so we got some confirmations on our premix transaction here. So we're ready to go into the CoinJoin with other people. So we'll go ahead and get started now. So what we're gonna do again, so our premix round, we had these outputs. This first round of outputs, we pretty much pre-agreed. Everybody knows that this is going to be the amount of the CoinJoin, so we're all coming into it with amounts that look like this, and everybody's going to get outputs that are this amount. So we're all going to spend exactly 325 sats right now on this transaction. So this amount, we're actually going to create two PSBTs for two totally different users. So PSBT 1 is going to be for one person, and then PSBT 2 is for going to be the second CoinJoin participant. But since everybody's going to have the same exact outputs, I can actually just copy paste this amount into both PSBTs, because in essence this could be something that just sits on your GitHub or whatever, and you can just pre-arrange, hey, these are going to be the amounts of the different rounds, and you can have multiple rounds, so you have 10 rounds that you're going to mix through, and everybody just has these already, and all they'll have to add in is their inputs and their outputs or output addresses. So all right, let's go ahead and we'll get started then. So now to create this PSBT, we already know what we need. It's going to be exactly like our raw transaction that we just created. The first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get some new addresses. I don't know why I keep losing that thing. So, okay, I got it here. So we'll just go ahead and paste this. Let's see how many addresses we're going to need. We got 4 in, 4 out. So we'll go ahead and we'll get 4 addresses. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll copy these into our address fields. Just going to scooch that over. So there's address 1, address 2, address 3, address 4. And take a look at the last few letters. No duplicated addresses. That looks good. And let's go ahead and we will run list unspent so we can get our TX ID and our vout info. And here we go. And as we pointed out before, all of our TX IDs are going to be identical. But because we do have those CoinJoin change outputs, which you can see here, we don't want to try to spend those in this mix. So the vout 4 and vout 5 are going to be ones that we're going to ignore for now. We're going to pretty much just use these output amounts and spend those. So they're all the same exact TX ID. So I'm going to Control C to copy that. And then our vouts are going to be the same as last time. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So we'll go into our PSBT template, and I'm just going to Control V 4 times. And we'll do our vouts as before. I'll just type it in. So 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, so we've got all that. So we've got our inputs, we've got our outputs. Simple as that. We'll do a copy paste. Well, we'll do a copy, we'll do a paste, and we'll hit enter. All right, so now we've created our first PSBT. Congratulations. Very simple. So here, I'm going to just highlight the whole raw hex there, and I'm going to paste it there. It goes to the end there in some weird way. So I'm just going to hit home, so it brings me back to the beginning. And we'll decode this PSBT. So let's just go ahead and we'll say decode P. And I'm going to hit down, space, and it's still on my clipboard here. So I'm going to Control V to paste. And here we're decoding our PSBT. We can see our 4 outputs here. We can see our inputs. And you can see this is a little more complicated than the raw transaction that we created before. Once we join them, things will get pretty interesting as well. Well, I don't know if you'll think they're interesting or not, but anyways, everything looks good here. So what we need to do now is we've got our PSBT placed here. We're going to use that in a little bit. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and close our wallet. And we're going to pretend to be a second CoinJoin user. So the way that we do this is once I've closed my software, the Bitcoin software, I can just change my wallet name. You may see it's wallet.dat. Here it just says wallet. So I'm just going to rename it CoinJoin 1. And then I'm going to take my CoinJoin wallet, CoinJoin 2 wallet, just rename that to wallet. Now when I reopen Bitcoin Core, it's going to open using this wallet. And I meant to point out the fact that there's going to be a different balance, and you'll see different transaction amounts in the sides. So if you want to scooch back in the video, you'll be able to see that when the new Bitcoin wallet opens. So this one's going to be opening with a totally different user's information, totally different fund amounts. It looks similar because I've been playing around, but these amounts are all different than what we just saw. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to go Window, Console, and we'll run our list unspent. And I've already pre-set this wallet to have some CoinJoin amounts that are ready to go, as you can see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these that are ready to go. And then we've got a couple that are CoinJoin changed, just like we saw in the other pre-mix. So what we're going to do is we'll go back into our template. I'm going to hit home here. And we'll get our TXID. Again, because these were pre-mixed, the TXID is going to be the same for each one. So I'm just going to paste this 4 times. And then the V outs we need are 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3. And now the next thing that we need to do is get our addresses. So we're going to jump back over here and get that command. I should just paste that over here so we have this. I'll clean that up later so it's in a nicer place. So let's do this 4 times. Paste 2, 3, 4. And now we just copy these into address 1, address 2, address 3, and address 4. So we'll go ahead and run this same command, create PSBT. Simple as that. You saw how fast that was. Probably didn't even take a minute or two. And we have a PSBT. So partially signed Bitcoin transaction, and we will place the raw hex here. I'm going to hit home. And now we are going to send all these PSBTs back to the coordinator. I'm going to just use this wallet address as the coordinator. It could be any of the wallets that are involved, so that's not a problem. It may even be able to be a totally separate wallet. I don't know. But in any case, we're going to do the coordinator from this wallet. It could be the other wallet. So since this is already in my clipboard, I'm just going to put my cursor here, and in between these 2 double quotes, I'm going to hit Control V, and then I'm going to go home, and then I'm going to copy the raw hex from PSBT1 from up there, and I'm going to say Control C, and I'm going to put it right in between those 2 double quotes. And if it drops to the next line, I just hit backspace, and that's that. So then we can hit home to go back to the beginning. I do like to double check and make sure that the PSBTs are different. So in order to do that, you kind of need to look at the end. You can see here we have some different characters. So one of them is, G. So you can see this one has the JQOG. We see JQOG. So the next one should be the DZNW. So let's go all the way to the end. And there you see the DZNQW. All right, looking good. So this command is going to join those 2 PSBTs. So let's do paste our command. And now we actually have a joined PSBT. Let's take this and we'll decode it using the same command. I'm going to hit space and Control V to paste. Alright. I must have left something out. And there we go. So I did something wrong, no problem. Bitcoin Core will always warn you. And here we can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 outputs. So it's not just the outputs that we created from this wallet. It's both of the PSBTs. So we now have these joined. Here's all our witness, the transactions that we're spending from, and here's all the addresses that we're sending to. This looks good. Okay, cool. So now what needs to happen is that the coordinator will send back the PSBT to each user, and each user is going to sign it with the wallet process PSBT. And you take that raw hex that I just pasted. I'm going to paste it here again, and we'll do home. And I'm just going to copy this command. We'll actually be able to use this wallet process PSBT in every wallet that needs to sign it. You could just use that same command. So I'm going to Control V to paste it. And there we go. So we have our PSBT that is signed by this wallet. And you can see it says complete false. That's totally fine. That's just because we don't have a fully signed PSBT that's ready to be broadcast to the network. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste the process PSBT here because we're going to need this next. And then I'm going to just recopy that to my address. And we're going to close this wallet because we won't need that right now. I'm going to go back into our wallets. I'm going to rename this. And we will go back into wallet 1, reopen Bitcoin Core, and now this time we'll be in our first wallet, and we can run the same command that should still be on my clipboard to process this joined PSBT, and then we'll take the signed PSBT from both wallets and we'll combine them into one. So once we do that, all we have to do is finalize and send. So we're almost there. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll open our console, and I should just be able to Control V to paste, and boom, that's it. We got our PSBT signed by this wallet. Okay, so I'm going to Control V to paste it. I'm going to hit home just to go back to the beginning. So this is still on my clipboard. I'm just going to do like I did last time. So in the combine PSBT command, I'm just going to go Control V. Paste it. I'm going to go home, and we're going to grab this one here, and I'm going to say Control C, and we will drop this right in between the double quotes and combine. Sorry, and hit V. And if it goes to this next line, I always just hit backspace, and we can go home, copy the whole line, and we will just paste this here. And there you go. We're starting to get some bigger walls of text, and that's a good thing. So in this sense, we can actually decode this again before we finalize it. You could just go ahead and finalize it, but probably good practice to double check things. And what I really like about this is that you could see the fee. So if you create a raw transaction, those other coin joins we were doing, you just kind of have to hope your math is right, or you just triple check it, which is actually better practice if you're doing this on mainnet. Don't really advise anybody do it on mainnet yet. I'm just making up things here. But I do love that you could see the fee. So you see the fee, and we know it's exactly what we planned it on. So every wallet had the specific amount that was going to get paid. That's exactly what we wanted. Now all we need to do is finalize PSBT. So we can do, I could have just pasted the raw hex of that there, but since I did the decode, let's see here, home. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, so finalize. I'm gonna do Control C. So now what we have is actually a regular Bitcoin transaction, and you could tell because of the way that it looks. After you've done these a couple times, you'll notice the distinct difference in the way that a regular Bitcoin transaction works. If I need to decode this now, I can't use decode PSBT. I have to use decode raw transaction and paste, and then this is going to be the actual transaction that's ready to submit to the network. And this is actually really great if you wanted to do some mathematical archaeology on this, and you can just learn so much from just looking here, seeing how the software creates these transactions before they're sent to the network. And let's see, so just going to copy this again, and now all we have to do is send raw transaction. I must have created this in a 4-way. Do Control V, do home, and copy that whole thing. And there we go. We've made our CoinJoin. You notice that our fee before said 2,500 Satoshis, but it's saying that I've paid 1,300 because it's only looking at the amount that's paid out of this specific wallet. So each user will be paying a portion of the fee here. So we can go ahead and we'll take our transaction hash, jump back over to the testnet explorer. And as usual, since we're running a full node, the network already knows about our transaction. Of course, since we're paying a very low fee, the miner preference is low, which no problem. And here you can see the exact amount that we've transacted, fees, 0 confirmations. But here's the cool thing. 8 in, 8 out. And look at that. That should hopefully be beginning to look a little bit more like this to the network. So next time, we'll just go ahead and we'll remix these again so that everybody drops off this 325 sats and we all have outputs that are exactly 0.0125. So we'll wait for a couple confirmations on this. Well, I just need to wait for one confirmation, and we'll pause the video, and once I get that, we'll jump back in.